Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the F1 word and to whatever this is going to be. I guess a sort of look at what's coming up this pre-season. Yes, by the time this video goes out, we will be into February, or as I like to call it, Christmas for F1 fans. I cannot stress just how excited I am to watch a bunch of teams pull some covers off some bloody cars. And the less said about my excitement for testing, the better. I really am that sad. But let's kick things off by having a look at some of the, or all of the launch dates that have been confirmed at time of recording. So Ferrari are set to be first to launch on Tuesday, the 11th of February. That is a week this coming Tuesday. Oh my God. It is so close I can almost smell it. That is fantastic. They're going to be launching somewhat unsurprisingly in Italy. I know, calm yourself. But not at Maranello this year. They're going to be launching at a theatre. I can try and pronounce it if you want. The Romolo Valley Municipal Theatre. I'm so sorry to any Italian followers. That was terrible. So they've obviously decided to get the theatrics out of the way nice and early this year and not mess about with them in season. So great news for Ferrari fans there. It probably ought to be mentioned at this point as well, certainly for anyone that is brand spanking new to F1. If you've been watching more than a year, you'll know what I mean. But the cars we see at launch will not be the cars that we see at the first test. They will probably change again before the second test. And then the cars we see in Australia will be almost unrecognisable to the ones that are launched in a couple of weeks' time. But it is still nice to know that the season is fast approaching. And I've actually got a little bit of exclusive news for you here. Now, I can't reveal my source because I'm totally making it up. But I've been told, and I need to stay calm for this because it's a big scoop. And this, by the way, has got to stay between me and you guys. So don't go telling people on the internet about this one. It's just between us. But apparently, according to this fake source, the 2020 Ferrari will be predominantly red. Calm yourself. I know it's very exciting, but just keep it under your hats for now, though, because that's not been made official or anything like that. Anyway, Renault will be launching next up on Wednesday the 12th of February. And again, like Ferrari launching in Italy, somewhat unsurprisingly, Renault will launch in Paris. But the important point with this one is it is billed as a season launch, so it might and probably won't be the 2020 car that we see. It might be like mostly the 2019 car with an up-to-date front wing on it, but a new livery. Again, that's fine. No, it's nice to see what the car's going to look like, roughly, even though they'll look nothing like that. But anyway. McLaren, as usual, will launch at the McLaren Technology Centre on Thursday the 13th. And I've got to say, this is a car I'm really looking forward to the launch of, because they've been doing some teasing on social media about the livery and how there could be some white incorporated into that. And I've seen some really cool livery concepts of white and papaya that I absolutely love. They look stunning, and I am totally down for that if McLaren want to go that way. That papaya, though, is full stop a livery that is definitely growing on me year after year. When last year's launched, I didn't like it at all, and then I saw it on track in Australia, and then the next race it looked better, and the race after that it looked better, and I came to love it at the end of the year. So we'll see which way they go with that one, but hopefully white and papaya, I'll be happy with that. Friday the 14th, it's two teams launching. Mercedes will be launching, if you like, at Silverstone. That is a closed event, though, not open to media or the public, and they will be popping some material out online as they do, probably some pictures of the car on the track, and that usual one where they're on the old straight. Is it the National Pit Straight at Silverstone, where they've got Toto Wolff, Lewis Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas and the car. And here's another exclusive scoop for you. I know, I just can't stop. This fake source of mine is fantastic, but the Mercedes apparently, and don't quote me on this, but it will apparently be predominantly silver. Incredible, I know. The other team to reveal their car on Friday the 14th is ALFA Tauri, who were Toro Rosso. They'll be taking the covers off their 2020 Challenger at Hangar 7 in Salzburg. And as with Renault, this is billed as a season launch, so we're probably not going to see the full 2020 car. But I think the thing with this one that most people are probably looking forward to is finding out what livery they are going to run. So all of the branding I've seen so far for AlphaTauri is black and white. So it is highly likely that we will see something along those lines. And to be honest, if it could be black and white in a matte finish, I'm totally up for that. It'd be fantastic. That would look great on track. But they've got to make it look good. The black and gold that was the Haas in 2019 I was not a big fan of, but black liveries can look great. Look at the 98 Arrows, for example. Stunning car. Well, livery-wise. And I'm confident, given how good their car has looked over the last couple of years when they were Toro Rosso, that they can come up with something decent. But also, if they want to stick with that really nice blue that they've had the last couple of years and stick with that livery, that's fine as well, because I bloody love that thing. So that's everyone launching on the first week, if you like, of car launches. But the second week kicks off on Monday the 17th. Shock horror, a Monday starting the week. With Racing Point set to show us something. Again, like Renault and like AlphaTauri, it's a season launch. So it's probably just going to be this year's livery on last year's car, which is looking like it's going to be pink again. That's certainly what all the branding is around the promo material anyway. But curiously enough, the Canadian-owned team, who are based in the UK just over the road from Silverstone, are launching in Austria. I'm sure there's probably a fantastic reason as to why, but I've not seen why they're doing that. It'll be something to do with sponsors, I'd imagine. So if you're in Austria, keep an eye out for some Racing Point cars and people and whatnot. Also, on Monday the 17th, Williams have confirmed that they'll be launching their 2020 livery on their 2019 car, and we're expecting some possible renders of the new car as well. This has got me a little bit concerned, I can't lie. If any other team had said that they were doing that, I'd be like, all right, fair enough, we'll see the proper car, the real car, at testing in Barcelona. But because of what happened last year, they were a couple of days late for testing, of course, it just gets me a little bit concerned that maybe they're not quite ready. I might be totally wrong, I hope I'm totally wrong, and that they do manage to rock up to Barcelona on time because they're going to need that track time. And I know a lot of teams do release renders and they do show off the livery on the 2019 car, but they don't tend to bill it as such to the media, so we'll see. Fingers crossed everything will be fine for Williams though. And then on the first day of testing, which is Wednesday the 19th, Haas, Alfa Romeo and Williams will all launch their car proper, and that is on the morning of the first test. It's going to be interesting to see which way Williams go with their livery. I recorded a video with Stuart, Jonty and Dan for his predictions update earlier this week, and somebody said, I think it was Stuart, I might be wrong, it might have been Jonty, but one of them said that they wouldn't be surprised to see Williams go the same way as Venturi in Formula E because they've got the same rocket sponsorship. So keep an eye out for that one, but Jonty did also point out that Williams once said they would never go back to a red livery, so we'll see. Alfa Romeo, livery-wise, will stick with what they got, but it should be the proper car. And as we already know, Haas are not going to be black and gold because that whole bitch energy thing collapsed. And it's looking likely, based on all the promo and their changes to their logo and whatnot, and the trucks that they've put out, or the pictures of the trucks they've put out, they're probably going to go back to their pre-bitch energy livery. No massive surprises there. No word at time of recording on when Red Bull are going to launch, but I'm willing to make a little prediction around Red Bull. They will probably launch with a one-off kind of camo style livery that might go into testing but might just be for launch day. And everyone on the internet is going to talk about how much they absolutely love that livery and how they should stick with it for the season because it makes a car look so much better. And then they'll either rock up to testing or rock up to the first race with their normal branded livery. And a load of people are going to kick off about how boring it is that Red Bull have gone back to the old livery. You know, the branded livery they use in pretty much every other sport. Something to do with promotion. I don't know. And I'll freely admit, I'll probably be one of those people. Because I loved that livery on last year's launch car. I loved the black and blue the year before, and the camo livery, the black and white one, was awesome. But they're not going to be racing with that kind of livery because they're going to have their branding all over it. They're going to go with the usual look. And that's why I threw the sarcasm in with Mercedes and Ferrari, because everyone will be surprised and angry and annoyed that Ferrari have gone red and Mercedes have gone silver. That's their branding. It's never going to change. And it shouldn't change because that's iconic. It's what we're used to in Formula 1. However, the best bit is, though, if Ferrari rocked up to Australia with a yellow car, everyone would kick off because it's not in with tradition. But I can promise you there'll be so much complaining when Red Bull decide to go back to their branded livery. It's a guarantee. But again, I'll likely be joining in. Let's move on quickly. Testing, as already touched on, will kick off on February the 19th. That's a Wednesday. Only 6 days this year. That's because of the expanded 22 race calendar, or expected 22 race calendar. There could be a couple drop off yet for reasons I'm sure many of you are aware of, but I'm not going to get into. And so they've dropped 2 days, 6 days of testing, 19th to the 21st. And then the second week is 26th to the 28th of February. And before you ask, yes, I will be live for all of it. No testing footage, of course, because I can't show that for obvious copyright reasons. But I'll have the usual live timing. I'll have some guests on so we could just sit and waffle all day. 8 hours a day, I think it'll be again, for all 6 days of the test. So that should be fun. Looking forward to that. I did enjoy them last year. And if you're somebody who really wants to listen to me and some guests, I think Chainbear said he might be up for some this year again. So if you're up for hearing that for 8 hours a day for 6 days of testing, you're as mad as I am. But don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss it. And I'm getting my prediction head on again. I know I've already blown your minds with the Ferrari being red, the Mercedes being silver, and Red Bull going back to their normal livery, if they launch with a special livery, of course. But I'm pretty confident that testing will go something a little bit like this. There'll be a lot of talk about how Williams can't be any worse than they were last year, but they'll rock up to testing and they will be worse than last year. Alfa Romeo will look like dark horses, but then will fail to deliver when we get to Australia. Haas will have raw pace, but probably won't be able to switch the tyres on, so that'll fall away once the season gets going. Racing Point will surprise us all by how few laps they do, which was always the case in the Force India days as well. We'll all look at Toro Rosso and be surprised by the pace they've got. Renault will be another one of those that are a bit of a dark horse, but then fail to deliver as the season kicks off. And I've just realised they haven't even launched yet. We've not even seen the flipping car and have already made the mistake. We won't see how good or how bad Toro Rosso are in testing because they don't exist anymore. They will of course be Alpha Tauri by the time we get to Barcelona. Come on, Sean. Everyone will keep comparing McLaren to the Honda days and talking about how when they had the Honda engine they never got this many laps in. Oh, how times have changed. It's been 3 years. Let it go. It's okay. We can let it go. Honda have improved. McLaren have improved. Let's move on. And then at the very sharp end of the grid, Mercedes will arrive with 3 trucks full of sandbags. Ferrari will deliver some absolutely phenomenal pace and will look like the team to beat. Red Bull will also deliver some good pace and we'll all get really excited about a 3-way fight at the front. Autosport will do their report on how Ferrari are clearly the best and no one's going to get anywhere near them, something like half a second clear by the time we get to Australia or whatever. And then Helmut Marko will come out in the press and say Ferrari are the quickest, Mercedes are 3rd fastest at best, and Red Bull are in this title fight. We're in for a 3-way fight. And then we'll arrive for the season opening Australian Grand Prix, and Mercedes will lock out the front row, bog off and get a 1-2 finish. And everyone will bitch about how crap Formula 1 is and how Mercedes are ruining the sport. When's Lewis Hamilton going to retire? Bottas 2.0, always porridge, always beard. Let's all switch off till 2021. This sport's dead and blah, 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 blah. So that happened. Apologies, let's gloss over it and move on quickly. But once car launches and testing are all out of the way, there's actually quite a quick turnaround to be fair, just a couple of weeks before the season opener. And of course that is the Australian Grand Prix, assuming it goes ahead of course, with race day on Sunday, March the 15th. And it's back-to-back races to start the season as well, with Bahrain just 7 days later. What a way to start the year. But I'll talk about the season in like a preview when we get a little bit nearer to the Australian Grand Prix. But that is it for this video that I didn't have any intention of making and have no idea why I made. I just wanted to. And that is pretty much going to be the mantra, if you like, for this season from me. I made it because I wanted to, which is a terrifying thought for some of you, I'm sure. But I guess to round this off, feel free to pop some of your crazy pre-season predictions in the comments down below. And don't forget you can also follow me over on social media with all of the links you need for that in the description as usual. But as ever, thank you for watching and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye-bye. Oh dear. And that, Sean, is why you write scripts, because otherwise you let your mind take control and things all go to... I'm still recording. Okay. Bye.